Hi all, thanks for joining. As always, it's really appreciated. And don't be afraid to like and subscribe. As you can tell, this is very much a homemade review channel. So if you do have any suggestions to make it better or fancy helping out at all, please use the email address in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you don't mind though, I just want to spend a couple of minutes talking about the increasing length of modern films. It appears to me that it's becoming increasingly difficult for any studio to tell a compelling story in under 2 hours, with many films landing around 2.5 hours. Now, I like to kick back with an epic from time to time. Who doesn't? But come on, there's so many films now where the story doesn't need to be dragged on and on. To me, what feels like an eternity. Now, at first I thought this may just be me feeling this due to, the actual lack of creativity and originality now, because we live in a world of sequels, remakes and reimaginings. Don't believe me? Let's have a look at the top 10 box office hits for this year. As you can see, every single one is either a sequel, a remake or a reimagining. I think that's quite embarrassing really, and highlights the slow death of originality in Hollywood. Now, if you compare that with 1994's box office, there's not one remake or sequel amongst it. How times have changed. But anyway, I'm getting off the point. Back to why movies are so long. To highlight my point, I've done a little bit of investigating. And firstly, let's look at films under 100 minutes. As you can see, a third of the films now, compared to the 1970s, come in at under 100 minutes. So why is this? Well, I think this is simply down to cold hard cash. Back then, the more screenings of a film in a cinema, the more revenue the cinema and the film companies would make. Showing a film 8 times a day is certainly going to bring in twice as much as only showing it 4 times. Due to the rise of streaming, I really believe that people only tend to go to the cinema for those big box office, epic visual spectacles we see. Where once long movies were a loss maker to the industry, I think they now draw people back into the cinema to see something you couldn't see on a small screen. Movies now have to contend with the rise of great TV. We all know how good some TV shows are, and in many cases the writing and stories and character development of TV shows is far more impressive than what movies have had to offer. Just look at The Wire, The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, Stranger Things, etc. These type of shows have really got time to stretch out and develop and explore both character and narrative in a way that a lot of movies can't even get close to. And the only way movies can compete is to extend their running time. The difference here though is with TV shows, it's bite-sized chunks, isn't it? You get an hour at a time, which is really manageable. But a film over 3 to 4 hours, to me, is not manageable, and I absolutely lose interest. Because most films are watched at home these days, where it's much more comfortable, and the toilet is easily accessible, movies can be as long as they like. You can start and stop it as many times as you want. Well, what's my problem? Well, I think in many cases directors want to kind of show off. They spend too long on lingering visual shots, making sure that the aesthetic is amazing, while ignoring pace. For me, the story should always be the heart of the film. And sometimes if it's got long running times, they kind of forget about the narrative, and that can kind of slowly lose my interest. But it could just be me. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Do you like long movies? Would you wish they were longer? Or are you like me, dreaming for the day when films came in around an hour and a half? Anyway, thanks for listening. I'm sorry I rambled a bit there. Hope you have a great day and I'll see you on the next one. And don't forget to like and subscribe.